Good afternoon, everybody. Anthony Aniano here from RotoBaller Radio and rotoballer.com with a look at the Fantasy Baseball Week 6 waiver wires. Hitters you need to add for Week 6 of your Fantasy Baseball season. The week beginning Monday, May 1st. Full disclosure, recording occurring on Thursday, April 27th. So obviously things can change. Injuries can pop up. Stats will change over the course of the weekend. By the time you place those waiver wire ads, maybe somebody gets promoted that I missed, maybe an injury occurs, whatever it may be. But here are my top 5 players to add based on need and position for that week 6 of your fantasy season. Like I said, beginning May 1st. Don't forget, go to rotoballer.com, sign up now, use the promo code ACES, save yourself money at checkout, and take advantage of all the great premium tools over at rotoballer.com. Like and subscribe right here to the RotoBaller YouTube channel and give me a follow at Aniano Fantasy. All right, we always try to throw a catcher at you if you're somebody like me who maybe streams catchers a little bit, rides the hot hand, however you see fit. But it's time to pay attention to Yan Gomes of the Chicago Cubs, who's kind of cemented himself as the number 1 catcher there in Chicago. Was with him last year in a backup role to Wilson Contreras, has assumed that role and has taken and run with it. Gomes was a good hitter back in his day with Cleveland, other teams as well. Went to Washington for a little while. Okay, only 11% rostered on Yahoo. And as always, Yahoo roster percentages are the reference point. Try to keep it at about 50% or lower for my waiver ads. And Yan Gomes, 11% rostered. Over the last 14 days, as of this Thursday recording, hitting .424 over those 14 days with 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 8 runs scored. On the season, the batting average sits at .305. He's got 5 homers and 12 RBIs. Fantastic numbers for really anybody right now coming to the end of April. And that's for a catcher. Makes it even more enticing. Get him in your lineups immediately. His on-base percentage a little low, only .311. Just doesn't walk enough. His walk rate is only 1.6% on the season, but he's not striking out either. His strikeout rate only 13%. Hitting 8th in that Cubs lineup with an OPS of .888. Yan Gomes, if you're looking for a catcher, he's available, shockingly, in 89% of Yahoo leagues, and he's swinging a hot bat. Now, offensively, I have 3 power hitters you want to be mindful of. Most of them in the outfield. We'll start in Pittsburgh. The first place Pittsburgh Pirates. Jack Suwinski of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Last season, hit only .202, but showed some power with 19 home runs, and he's showing a much more improved profile, a more improved approach, shall I say, to his hitting game. Over the last 4 days, Jack Suwinski, who's only 27% rostered on Yahoo.com, over the last 14 days, hitting .387, 4 homers, 8 RBIs, 7 runs scored, and sprinkling in some stolen bases with 3 steals on the season, hitting primarily 5th in that Pirates lineup. On the season now, that batting average is .278. Massive improvement from that .202 he hit by the end of the year last year. On-base percentage is .406 right now on the season. 5 homers on the year, 12 RBIs, 8 runs scored. And like I mentioned, those 3 stolen bases. Now you say, Anthony, what has you excited about Suwinski? He showed the power last year, but the batting average was a drain. And I'll tell you what it is. Okay? Last season, his walk rate was about 11%. This season, it's at 18.8. It's up about 7% from last year to this year. Love that approach. Taking more walks, you're seeing the higher on-base percentage. And then, when you pair that increased walk rate with the decreased strikeout rate, this year his strikeout rate sits at about 24.6%. That is 6% lower than last year, where it was about 30%. He's striking out less. He's walking more. The power is there at a better pace than last year. So the batting average is better. The on-base percentage is better. Let's call it what it is. Jack Suwinski is my number 1 ad offensively of the week. He's my prime ad. He's who I'm going in on. And he's only rostered at 27% of Yahoo leagues. Other hitters to be mindful of. Oakland, third place hitter, Brent Rooker. 38% rostered. Okay, over the last 14 days, he's hitting 324, 5 homers, 11 RBIs, 7 runs scored. On the season, the batting average is over 300 at 315. His on-base percentage is 433. He's got the highest OPS, or second highest OPS, of anybody I'm mentioning today at 1.118. It's a fantastic OPS. In fact, Sawinski's at 1.035. Brent Rooker is at 1.118. And Joey Gallo, who I'll talk about in a minute, is at 1.177. All three of those are elite level OPS, on base plus slugging. Brent Rooker, 6 homers on the year, 15 RBIs. Terrific numbers, most RBIs available of anybody I'm mentioning today, and 9 runs scored. Walk rate, strikeout rate is identical, and they're both fantastic. 17.9%. He's walking as much as he strikes out. Sign me up for that approach as well. It's over a 300 batting average. It's an over 400 on base percentage with a power flash as well. Keep Brent Rooker in mind. And I mentioned Joey Gallo. Now, anybody who's ever heard me, wherever I have spoken, YouTube, SiriusXM, knows I am not a Joey Gallo guy. I don't have him on my team. I can't stomach the strikeout rate. Now, the strikeout rate is actually down from last year's atrocious season. Last season, it was 39.8. He was essentially striking out 4 out of every 10 times. It's a little bit better. It's 30% now. It's 30.6. It's only 3 out of 10. You take that, market improvement. Still walks a ton, 14.3%. So he's always going to have a good on-base percentage. Over the last 14 days, Joey Gallo is hitting 250, 4 homers, 7 RBIs, 5 runs scored. On the season now, Joey Gallo is hitting 262. If you told me Joey Gallo is going to hit 262 with his power, I can become a Joey Gallo fan, because 262 plays with the 7 home runs, 14 RBIs, and 9 runs scored he has on the season. His on-base percentage is 367. Like I mentioned, his OPS is 1.177, and he's rostered in only 45% of leagues in Yahoo.com, meaning he's available in 55%. I'll still take Jack Sawinski. It's a lower K rate. It's even a higher walk rate. But Joey Gallo, okay, hitting kind of all over in that Minnesota lineup. Joey Gallo swinging a nice bat. And if you need power, right, it's the end of April. Evaluate where you are. If you need power, Joey Gallo, Brent Rooker, Jack Sawinski, 3 outfielders who can provide that power for you. If you need the catcher, take a look at Yan Gomes. Now, my final ad is if you need some speed, and we know speed's abundant this year with the rule changes in Major League Baseball. Last weekend, I mentioned Estory Ruiz of the Oakland Athletics. Okay, he's up to 7 stolen. He's got 7 stolen bases in the last 2 weeks, and he's up to 9 now on the season. I think he had 4 steals the other day. My player for this week for steals, back in Pittsburgh, back with the first place Pirates, Jin-Wan Bae, second base outfield eligible, hitting 7th or 8th in that Pirate lineup. He's currently 24% rostered. I've added him in Tout Wars to try to get some steals out of him. Over the last 14 days, he's hitting 278 with 7 stolen bases, and that's why we're talking about him. Are those steals? 7 steals over the last 14 days. He's up to 10 stolen bases already this season with a 254 batting average and a 312 on-base percentage. Doesn't hit for much power. He does have 2 home runs. Strikes out a little more than you want a stolen base guy to strike out, almost 27% of the time. Walks just over 6%. But he's 24% rostered, essentially saying he's available in 3/4 of every league. About 76% of leagues is where he's available. 10 steals. He's on pace for close to 30, if not more. He's on pace for more than 30. If he gets to 30, I'll be thrilled. So Jin-Wan Bae is my stolen base ad of the week. So to recap, my top 5 ads for week 6 of the fantasy baseball season, the week beginning Monday, May 1st, catcher, Yan Gomes. My priority ad, outfielder, Jack Sawinski, Brent Rooker of the Oakland Athletics, Joey Gallo of the Minnesota Twins, and for speed, Jin-Wan Bae of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Folks, follow me on Twitter at Aniano Fantasy. Make sure you watch all the great content right here on RotoBaller's YouTube channel by simply subscribing. Go to rotoballer.com. Use that promo code ACES. Save some money at discount for all of our great premium content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on RotoBaller Radio.